So welcome back to Santa's Laser Engraving. Been a busy month of January around here, so we were working with our new AD5X along with the F2 that we have out in the shop. And I'm going to show you some of the things that we worked on both of them, along with a big mistake that I made, and hope to help you not make the same mistake. So stay tuned. So one of the first things that anybody has to do when they get a 3D printer is, of course, take and do a benchy. So this benchy came out really good. I was impressed with how the machine worked. So one of the first things I printed out personally was for the poop chute, and this is the chute that's being printed right now. And it's on a textured plate. I don't have any kind of glue or anything like that to hold it down other than the texture on the plate itself. So it did a real good job with this as well.
After the poop chute, I did this interesting little piece. This is actually a front and back shroud for a 120 millimeter computer type fan that you can make into a desk fan, which one of my coworkers had asked me to see if I could do.
And of course, a Sharpie is not a Sharpie until it has a hilt. And this is the Orca slicer cube that was preloaded into the machine. Basically just hit the screen and let it go. So these are some Bowden tube removers that I had made just so I would have them in case I needed them. Then I decided to try something small. These are supposed to be little earrings for roses. And as you can see, some of them came out pretty rough. So we had to do some tweaking on that one. And with my confidence up, I decided I needed to do something fun instead of something that was functional. So what could be more fun than the Millennium Falcon, right? So you can see here, it's got trees on it. And the only problem was, you see those guns there in the center? I actually broke one off when I pulled the tree loose. So had to run a second one, but overall they came out really, really nice. And can you own a 3D printer without doing some articulated kind of animal? I actually did the bears this time instead of the dragons you usually see.
If you own a Jeep and you display some ducks, then of course you've got to have some stands to put them on. You can see I've got some stringing going on here, which I was able to fix pretty easily by going through the different groups. But if you're going to have these, what else do you need? You got to have some ducks to go on it. So we ran a few of those as well. Using this photo and another of my Mrs. Claus, I ended up creating this 3D model of Mrs. Claus, along with some lithophanes. Now, if you've not done lithophane, give these things a shot. They're really cool.
And so that's what we've been doing so far. Since December, we've had the machine and been having a lot of fun with it, been learning a lot from it. And I know what you're asking yourself now is, well, what did you screw up on? I'll tell you in just a minute. But first, I'd like to ask you to do one thing for me, if you would. If you would, please like or subscribe to this channel. It would really help me out. So now, what did you do wrong? Well, what I've been doing is started printing out my enclosure. And the enclosure I chose to do is this volcanic crack enclosure to go over the machine. Well, the one thing I did not know was the amount of poop that I would collect, a whole gallon bag full, if you did what I did. And that was the fact that this poop goes from black to white. The one thing that I found out is the Orca slicer does not control the purge rate for an AD5X. It's actually the color changes that dictate how much it'll purge between the two colors. Now this was a 34-hour print to begin with, and so I had to keep coming in every once in a while and cleaning out the container and actually get it where it would come down the chute because it was backing up. So how do you fix that? Well, according to what I have found so far, you want to do similar colors. You can take and go from black to a gray or gray to a black, or maybe a black to a blue. That's the way you want to do it so that you minimize the number of time or the volume of poop that's coming out of the machine. And so that's what I did. It was a hard lesson to learn, but it was a good lesson to learn, and we all learned together. So hopefully you can use this. So let me show you what I was doing with the F2 now.
Oh yeah, also made myself a sign for the lasers. And so here's the F2 I ended up purchasing, along with the fact that I've got the rotary and the conveyor. So went to work in the shop, got it put in position here, as you can see. This being the first diode in the shop, I decided to start with something simple. So I grabbed a piece of scrap Baltic birch and just put this simple little design on there. Tried a few of the keychains. I figured this will be one of the things that we'll do at the craft shows so that we can customize some things for people. And like most of you guys, when you first get started in doing laser of any kind, you buy a whole bunch of stuff. And I had several mirrors here that I ended up using on the F2, and the designs come out really good. And I was really impressed with the fact that the detail you could get on the mirrors. Trying some coasters next, of course. Still need to work on this a little bit, I believe. I think I could get this a little bit better. But there's the wood ones, and then I turned around and did some slate one. The slate came out really good, so I don't think I have to worry with it as much as I do the wood ones. So tried this another coasters, this time a square one, and I was getting better in the darker image, so was getting to dial in what we were do for the wood coasters. And then I was wondering how it would do on one of my business cards. And this thing was really quick, really clean and crisp. So we'll be using this a lot more for my business cards as well. And we've even run some stuff on my Monport CO2. We ran some glass here, as you can see. And I decided to see what frosted glass would actually do if you engraved it. So it came out okay. I think if you put a tea light in it or something like that, it would be okay. But I'm going to play with those just a little bit more, see what I can come up with. And if you haven't guessed, I'm trying to get rid of some of that stuff that we talked about before about buying it just so you could try it. And this was another one of the things, along with this turkey here and this box. I put farm life on it. Finally, we have these signs that we got when we first got our machines about a year ago now. And this was actually run on the fiber machine that I have, which is the 30 watt. And what we ended up having to do is this was a galvanized sign. Well, if you have read anything about galvanized metals, you need to be really, really careful because you will create zinc oxide if you engrave these things. And that can make you really, really sick. It can actually make you feel like you have the flu. So what I did instead was I took and put this in some vinegar and let the vinegar take the actual zinc off of the material itself and then ran it through. Now, and so the zinc is actually a rust inhibitor. So once you take that off, the sign is naturally going to start to rust. But I think it brought a nice detail out in this whole sign. Tell me what you think. And finally, we're starting to get ready for tax season. Doesn't that sound fun? And if you've made it to the end here, I appreciate you staying with me. I hope to start doing some videos next month, and those videos will be on drawing, how to draw, what the different lingo is, and that kind of stuff. I think that'll help tremendously, not only in the laser, but in the 3D side as well. So keep your eye out, and thank you for watching.